Conts. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Sunday League Football with ourselves, Sporting Continental. Something a little bit different today, as you guys know. Obviously, Boris has shut everything down, so not really much we can do. As you can see, I'm joined by Dan, our centre forward, our number 9, for our first ever episode of the aptly named Meet a Cont. There was nothing else we could call it, to be fair. Dan, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Trying to stay sane, assume.
Yeah, another break from football. I think everyone's going up the wall a little bit, but
Mrs.
hopefully 2021 might be a bit better.
How's everything with you? Everything, Boris messed up a lot of your plans?
I supposed to have my birthday yesterday, and Jess said she had planned on a trip to Iceland.
Oh,
so
no.
That's obviously gone through a walk, and then she changed it to Scotland, and then we can't even do that. So stuck in Costa del Streatham for Christmas. Yeah. So.
Costa del Streatham.
Won't miss any games though. Yeah, Costa del Streatham.
Decent. Can't go wrong with that. Right, so I'll get straight into it. I think one of the reasons that I wanted to have you on is because obviously you're one of those players that you do get interviewed before the games and everything. But I think there isn't as much, and you can be humble about it because I know you are, but there isn't as much focus on you. Not that you care, to be fair, but obviously the Twitter world all go mad about how people's numbers this, people's numbers that. And I feel like your name is very, very overlooked, which is why I wanted to have you on because, correct me if I'm wrong, you will know better than me, but I think for us, you have 49 goals in 26 games.
I'm trying to remember how many I got last year. 32 or 33. And what I'm on 17. Yeah, 14, 49 maybe.
Yeah, well, there you go. So it's the numbers, regardless of how you look at it, are ridiculous, and we'll get to the numbers anyway. But talk me first through your Football League career or your Sunday League career, or however you started and where you started at and when you started playing. When did you realize you were a decent centre forward? Have you always been a centre forward?
No, to be honest, I can't even remember starting out. Like it was just like a local team called Coney Hall, and they had a really good club set up at the time. Lots of teams all through the age groups. Went through to all the adult teams, and I think the adult team at the time were in Kent County Prem, and then they eventually went into combined counties. But I don't remember at the time, but my dad always tells a story that I started off as a centre back.
Okay.
And my granddad came to watch a game at the time, and he had a go at the manager, and he's like, "He's not a centre back. He's not a centre back." And then throughout the years, I've gone further forward on the pitch, and most of the time I was either up front or like a number 10. But it was basically most of like our primary school that joined this team, Coney Hall, and then throughout the years we didn't win too much. We always had quite a good side, some good players in the Tandridge League, and then I don't think we ever won a league. We were always in like the top division, but we only ever won like the League Cup, which was, I think, was in our like last year before we sort of disbanded before adult football. So I think under 17s, something like that. We won a League Cup, and then everyone sort of went on. There's not many of us that are still playing. There's only one or two of us, I think, that are still playing either Saturdays or Sundays. Then I had a couple of years of adult football with Coney Hall, which was a bit of a step up because I was like one of the biggest playing on a Sunday at under 17 levels to go into sort of one of the smallest against blokes who just want to kick you up in the air. Yeah. it's a bit of a culture shock. But no, I enjoyed that, and then went off to uni for a few years. Came back, mainly just playing Sunday league, really, just where a few of my mates were playing or people had joined, and they said come and play here, and so I ended up with the Conts eventually.
Obviously, for those who don't know, we signed you from Swag. But when you were in Southern Sunday, did you start off with Swag, or were you at someone else before?
I was there was a few of us that sort of moved back into like Southwest London, and we joined that South London Football Network.
Okay.
So I think their promotion was really good. They were like, "I'll just come along pre-season, join them for like pre-season."
What division were they in? Do you know?
3, I think, at the time, 3 or 4. Can't really remember. And had a couple of league games, and then at the time we played this thing called Swag in the Cup, and their home ground at Dulwich Sports Ground was like carpet at the time, and where we were playing with South London Football Network, somewhere in Wandsworth, but it was horrendous, really horrible, like square goalposts, like tiny pitches, and then going onto this carpet, I was like, right, this will be a good game, a good day. I think I ended up scoring 4, and we won 5-4, I think. And I was like, I quite enjoyed that. And they had a good side at the time, and sort of we were massive underdogs. So I sent them a message like the week after, because people were leaving South London Football Network. And they said, oh yeah, just come along and then join them for a couple of seasons.
The first incarnation, if you will, of Sporting, we actually played against you guys a couple of times. Obviously, the second time I don't really count too much because we had something like 8 players, which was the season that we folded. Yeah. But the first time, it was a closer game. It was 3-1. You guys won, and I believe you scored, if I remember correctly. I think you did score. But yeah, that's the first time I remember seeing you. But even then, even for Swag, which, as you say, you went from a Division 3 team to the Prem team, which was Swag. Your first season, I'm not sure how many goals you got, but I think your second season, which is the season you played against us, and maybe even last season, you got 30 plus goals, I think, both times, which is pretty decent, especially stepping up. But yeah, I can think of Drage, Adu, and you that are like out and out prolific every season that you've been there, goal scorers. How did the move from Swag, obviously you stepped down to us a couple leagues, but how did that move come about for yourself? Obviously from my side, I don't know if you know, obviously when we restarted Sporting, I was actually playing on a Saturday with Jappy, and it was a conversation I had with Jappy, and I said, are you going to stay at Swag for long if we restart the team? Not you, him. If we restart the team, would you be willing to come? Blah, blah, blah. And as soon as he said yes, we decided to start the team. We got Drajan, obviously from Battersea Park at the time, who had also played with you at Swag, I believe. And then the second person I wanted Jappy to sign was you. So how did that actually come about from Jappy's conversation with you and your side of things?
Well, that last season I was with Swag, it was just a little bit of a slog, especially after Christmas, really struggling to get players out. And it was either having bare 11 every week or getting in players that would play once or twice a season. And it was just a different team. And it was just getting a bit tiresome, really. And they've done really well now to get a lot of youngsters in. And they've got a really strong squad. But I was thinking about going back to Saturdays at the time, and I had a couple of mates who I grew up with in Bromley who said about joining their team. And Jupp had texted me at the same time. He said, I'll just come through on Sundays, and Hugo's starting up like Sporting Continental again, like just give it a go. And played for a few friendlies, and that was it, really.
You made the jump quite quickly. I don't know if you played any friendlies for them before you, in that pre-season before you came to us. So I'm assuming one, it must have come as a shock to them, losing their top goal scorer. And obviously, what's the biggest differences you saw coming from them to us?
I think it was a lot of their players were sort of moving on. or not sort of committing to playing every week. So there was no sort of friendlies lined up. The plans for the season weren't really put in place. So coming to a team that had 6, 7, however many friendlies we seem to have every pre-season is good. And I feel like, ridiculous amount. But I feel like I need that amount of games to sort of get up to speed anyway.
Yeah.
And so that, and having that core group, especially last season and most of this season as well, we've had probably 9 or 10 players who are there just every single week and committed, and they love their football and travelling from everywhere. So that sort of commitment, definitely encourages people to join, I think.
No, good. Your first, let's move on to competitive now. So your first competitive game for us was mad, to say the least. If I remember correctly, you missed the first 2 games of the season. I think we played Kudos and we won on the 94th minute. I think that was the first game of the season. You were away for that one. I think you were in Hawaii. Can't really say anything to you there.
I wish I was there now.
yeah, exactly. Or tell me about it. And then I can't remember who we played in the second game, but I think you came in the third game and we played Brixton and we demolished them like 13-0 or something. And I think you scored. Did you score our first goal that day, or was it the second? I can't remember, but I know it was really quickly.
Yeah, I think Dre scored a free kick.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Must have been like the first minute, and I think I got the second. But then floodgates opened after that. But that was a Clapham Common, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was at Clapham
in
Common.
August.
How many goals did you get that game? Was it 2?
I think it was 2.
But then also you got a few assists. Like I remember in this, you gave a pass to Drage for the last goal that was fantastic. I think it was a crossfield pass, and obviously he finished on a volley. And I think that made it 13-0. That was a great pass. And that's something that obviously I don't have the numbers for it. I think VJ actually might do. I know he had it last year. Your game isn't based on just scoring. Mind you, you score loads, and that's probably what you love to do the most, but you actually get quite a lot of assists that go unmentioned, so to speak. Does that bother you at all?
Not really. As long as we're winning and we win trophies. I said this last season as well. Like, as long as we're winning, I don't really care, to be honest. Some trophies on the mantelpiece, some medals that you want rather than stats, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. Would you still say that if you weren't scoring but we were winning trophies?
If it got to like 5 or 6 games without a goal, then maybe ask me again. But now it's quite easy saying that.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, so moving on then, obviously, like you said, last season for us as a team that came back for the first time, new team, it's fair to say, new players. We had an amazing season, I think it's fair to say. We obviously, COVID hit, unfortunately, but we had 120 odd goals by when COVID came, and we played like 22 games unbeaten, no draws, all wins. And you obviously 32 goals, I think, 31 until the final, and then obviously you scored in the final. But I want to touch on the final because you seem to be quite unlucky when it comes to finals, not in terms of losing in finals so much, but in terms of having the finals actually take place. Talk me.
Seem to be.
Talk me through that. Where has that come from?
Only since I've been in the Southern Sunday, I think it was either 1 or 2 finals with Swag. One got called off because the other half of the draw, which we'd already got to the final of, got called off because I don't know if it's Hammersmith and Battersea, I think. That got abandoned, and it took London FA 10, 12 weeks to come to a decision. So that got null and void. And then I think there was another one as well, but I can't remember it.
Well, there was one with us last year. We got to the final.
That one as well, yeah.
Played the semi-final last year. We got to the final, and then obviously because of COVID,
agrees to that. And then the London Cup was postponed for 3 or 4 months.
Were you not? I wouldn't say panicking, because you don't seem that like that type of person. Were you? What's the word?
I made my peace with it, I think, to be honest. I was
like,
there's a hat trick of finals.
He's bad luck. Were you sort of, obviously I think we were all upset because at one point it looked like it wasn't going to go ahead. What was your thoughts at the time? Because I want to come back to the London Cup in a second, if you don't mind.
I think I remember like the last game before we went into that first lockdown was against, you'll probably remember.
Barking Mad
over Wandsworth Common, wasn't it? And we're in the pub afterwards and we're like, right, we're going into lockdown, see you in a couple of weeks. Yeah, so I don't think anything really sank in then. I don't think we thought we'd still be in this sort of situation, but not too much. I think London FA done really well with it, and I think it probably helped them that both the teams had already got to the final. There was only just one standalone game that could be played, and they could sort of fit that in wherever. So they never just said it's not happening. So that's a credit to them to do that. And it's a bit of a shame it didn't happen with our own leagues ones, especially 2 or 3 years or 2 or 3 finals in a row where it sort of happened to me, which is gutting. But yeah, it's just a strange time. But I was always sort of quietly confident it would happen. And as case numbers were sort of getting a little bit better at the time.
I think you scored in every round of the cup, if I remember properly.
Not Peckham.
Except Peckham, that's it. Peckham was the quarterfinal, wasn't it?
I think I got one in every round. There was some crazy games in that run.
Yeah, well, we had one where, if anyone that's watching this don't know, we had one where our goalkeeper showed up. Our goalkeeper showed up to Hackney Marshes.
I wish you had. I don't wish you had video of that.
Oh, I know. I still had it. My laptop broke, didn't it? Halfway through the season, so I lost all of the footage. But yeah, shout out Ray. He turned up without boxers, but he was wearing jeans, had the belt, no shirt underneath.
Somehow goalie gloves.
Goalie gloves somehow. He got sin binned in the first 7 minutes, I think it was, and we were 3-0 down 10 minutes in. And I'm not gonna lie, 10 minutes in, 3-0 down against, I think it was Hackney Wednesday, who hadn't lost before they played us. Decent team as well, to be fair. And somehow I think at halftime we went in 4-3 up. Crazy game. That game was mental. Let's touch on Mundial, because that, till I watched the video of that game literally yesterday. That is one of my favorite games to watch in terms of a sporting point of view, because I think everybody in that game was forced to work harder than they had ever done before in a Sunday League game. And again, I may be wrong, but yeah, watching that game was crazy. Obviously, what did you think going into the game? Because, you know, obviously you in the group chat, you're one of the more quiet guys, but I think we had been hyping up Mundial, saying, oh, their team is this, their team is that. Because I know a couple of their players, Drage knows a couple of their players. They're all high up, Ryman Prem, some even, don't want to get anyone in trouble, but Conference South and that kind of stuff. So what were your thoughts coming into that game? Did you think we stood a chance?
I'd always have backed us to score goals. So even if we sat back, we knew we were pretty decent on the counter. But from what people were saying in the group and what people were saying in the changing room before, there wasn't really a big buzz or like massive excitement before a semi-final. It was more like, right, we'll just sort of see how we go, like come up with our game plan and go from there. And if we can nick a goal or a couple of goals or something, then it's something to build from. But yeah, it was an enjoyable game. It's quite hard when you're sort of up front by yourself and you just see wave after wave of attack, just peppering down on Tex's goal. But it's good to watch that video back, definitely.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite game to watch from us anyway. But as you say, we did kind of speak about it before the game. We did have a game plan. We did say, look, chances are they're going to have a lot of the ball. be hard to beat, and we did that, to be fair. They missed a penalty, so we were kind of lucky there as well. So that would have put them 1-0 up. Tex went the right way, but I don't think he would have got there. But around 35 minutes, you scored from the halfway line pretty much, and in a goal that kind of went viral. Even a former footballer was commenting on it. Lee Trundle, I think it was.
Well,
yeah, there you go. Mario Melchior liked the video as well. So it's good history that you can tell your grandkids.
We'll take it.
But when VJ won that tackle and the ball got to you, did you know you were gonna shoot beforehand, or did you have a look up as the ball got to you? Or
I'd had a couple of looks up in the game and noticed the keeper was like on the edge of the 18-yard box, but to be fair, he had every right to be, because we were sort of just playing on the counter, weren't getting in behind too much because their line was so high and they were just playing around the back. But I think I was the furthest player forward when BJ won the tackle by like 20 or 30 yards. So I just thought, well, I'm not going to run past four of their defenders, so I'll just have a go. And the ball flew. I've never hit a ball so pure in my life, I don't think, but luckily it went in.
In that game, there was 3 screamers. Obviously, I hate the fact that we had a technical difficulty on that game. We're lucky not to lose the whole footage, to be fair. Can you imagine?
I'd never forgive it.
Yeah, I know. They scored a goal that on the video, I compared to Vincent Kompany's goal against Leicester, which was pretty much accurate, I reckon, is pretty much what happened.
Yeah, really, really close.
Yeah, very, very close. Very good goal. That's at 1-1. And then after that, until Sammy came on, it was on around the 80th minute, it was all them. Literally all them. And then when Sammy came on, he had that chance to shoot, and for some reason he didn't shoot, and everyone was screaming at him, shoot, shoot. And at that point, as a defender, I thought, that's it. Yeah, that's it. They're gonna come at the other end and score. And then they had a corner, and Tex made a brilliant reaction save from it. So big up Tex. But then after that, he rolled the ball out to Darren, and then you passed it back to Drage, and Drage from 30 yards out, 35, levered it into the bottom corner, and then it was just absolute scenes.
I think that goal is sort of gone under the radar a little bit because of my one before. The strike is just ridiculous. It stays like 2 foot off the ground for like 30, 35 yards. And it's a shame it's sort of been lost along with their goal as well. But what a game. What a game that was.
Was there ever any doubt in your mind after that? I just want to say, because we lost the footage for it. In that Hackney Wednesday game, when we were 3-0 down in 10 minutes, I did say if we win that game, we'd win the cup. And everyone was like, oh, how can you say that? Everyone made fun of me for saying that for the whole season. So to be honest, after we won that, I'm gutted I lost the footage for that. But after we beat Mundial, was there any doubt in your mind that we'd go on to win the competition?
I don't know. It's always a thing, like even in like the top level football, where teams, like Spurs as well, when they beat Ajax and they've had that massive high of the semi-final, and then it gets to the final and you're just like, right, my luck's run out, or just things don't go your way, and you sort of lose that belief. But I think it sort of helps when you're playing teams like that you don't really know much about, because you've got to respect them, because they've got to that final. They've played decent teams along the way. And when they're from like different,
they beat Rising Ballers, didn't they? On their way, well, not on the way to the final, but in their league, they actually beat them 2-1. I think it was a double header, but
no one was going to take them lightly. And we played really well on the day and gave ourselves a chance. But again, they had chances to equalise, I think.
Yeah, they did.
Like 1 or 2
right after Tex got clattered.
Yeah, really good chances. So it could have been a lot tighter.
Yeah. Again, obviously you scored. Very, very controversial goal, apparently. Some people said it was offside. Some people said it wasn't. On the video, I think it's fair to say you do look offside. However, obviously, you can't see where you started the run from. I've seen another video that a different cameraman filmed from the stands, nothing to do with us. And it looks like you could actually be onside. So I've always leaned onto the side where you are actually onside. What say you?
To be honest, the amount of times that I get flagged offside when I'm not offside, I'll take that one.
Fair enough. That's because of the run. That's why, it's because of the run.
But there is like our camera angle, the linesman is not in line at all. But I think I might have even seen a different angle and thought the left back was playing me on when the ball's actually played. But the ball comes a long way from BJ again, assisting me in the big games. And it's probably quite hard to make that call. But
obviously, at that point, we had already won, or we had been given the league on points per game. Was that your first trophy whilst playing in Southern Sunday? For a Southern Sunday team, not the league one. I'm talking about the actual cup.
Yeah. First one.
Talk me through the feeling. There's some pictures of you that you look really happy. I'm not gonna lie.
Relief. I think relief. Mainly from getting to finals and not having them played, and actually that final, getting to it and working with the team, working so hard to get there. Then I think relief was one of the overriding emotions, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. The only shame that I would say on that day was that a week later, fans would have been allowed. If that game was played a week later, fans would have been allowed to come and watch, and we had a load of people that wanted to come and watch. Obviously, your old man, if you don't mind me saying, as the chairman, came down.
Honorary chairman for the day.
Yeah, don't say that too loud.
And he missed the first goal. So.
Sorry?
Somehow. He missed the first goal as well. Really? He missed it, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Bad traffic.
Oh, man. Oh, well. It happens. But he saw you scored, all right?
He did, yeah.
It's what matters.
Luckily.
It's what matters. Yeah, we went on to win that game. Just as we start to wrap up here, what are your sort of aspirations for the season, for the team and for you personally?
League-wise, to win the league, definitely. We're still unbeaten there. It's going to be really tough to get all the games in. I think it's going to be a few double headers. So we're going to need a good squad going into spring and summer, I think. London Cup, I don't know what round are we up to, second or third round now?
Third, yeah. So if we win the next round, we're into the quarters, I think.
Yeah, and that'll be tougher than last year, being like the next level up in the London Cup. So it's hard to tell with that one, just see how we go. And I think if we lost to a better side and we played out of our skins on the day, then we're not ones to sort of.
That's the thing. I think that's the thing that we that we took from the swag game, and I think I said it in the text message to everyone. Losing, no one likes to lose. Losing isn't really a problem in terms of, like, obviously losing is a problem, but it's more how I look at it is how you lose. As you say, if we lose to a better team and we've played out of our skins, then you know what, you put your hands up, say fair enough. But I think the biggest disappointment from that swag game is that I don't feel, well, it didn't help having 10 men, but I don't think we did ourselves justice on that game in terms of how we performed and how much effort everyone gave and stuff like that. And I think that's what hurt the most. And in terms for yourself personally, what are your aspirations for you for the rest of the season?
Just carry on scoring goals, try and better last season's total. But again, yeah, just try and win trophies really. Hopefully get a decent draw in some of the cups. I'm not sure who we've got in the next round of the Marcus Lipton, but I think that's the one probably most teams in the Southern Sunday want to win, because every single team's in it. And what are there, 10 divisions now? So looking at about 100 teams, and you win that, then you're doing something right.
And lastly, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you this. What are your top 3 goals for Sporting? From 3, 2, and 1.
Number 3, I'll go my first goal.
Okay.
It wasn't anything special, but we'll put that in there.
Good
Number 2, probably, yeah, ticket. Number 2, probably my free kick against West Norwood, just because it was 100 and whatever minute, just a ridiculous amount of injury time, and I'd missed about 30 chances before that as well to win it for us. And then number 1's got to be Mundial.
Yeah,
there might be a couple I'm missing in there, but I can't think off the top of my head.
Yeah, there's only 49 goals you scored, mate. Not that many.
No. I'm just trying to think if there's a better one, but the first one I can stick in the goal against Brixton at number 3.
Perfect. That's fair enough. Dan, again, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for joining me. For everyone watching, as always, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything. Dan, thank you. Have a Merry Christmas to you and your family. Stay safe, my friend.
Cheers, mate. And you.
Thank you very much.